Alright, so here's the deck that we're going in with. I took a while to build this deck, feed my cats, check that red-blue is actually not a color combination that exists in this game. So I'm glad that I was right about that and didn't just pass up, well, a few good cards. There really wasn't that much. You can name your draft deck. That's amazing, I never noticed that. So yeah, this is what we're going in with. Let's see how it does. Well, this is not the world's best hand. Looks to me like a snap mulligan. We are a whole lot happier with this. Not thrilled, but a whole lot happier. My opponent also mulliganed. I don't think I have anything that costs 2 red sigils and only 2 mana. It only costs 3 red sigils, which is the deal X damage to any target. Flame Blast or something. So rough game plan obviously is slap down a Lethrai Ranger, remove whatever is standing in between it and the opponent, hope to draw a sigil so we can play Stonescar Magus, and then another sigil so we can play Runic Revolver. It's kind of nice, actually very nice that we drew Cabal Cutthroat. We're hoping they play something with 3 or less attack that we can remove with Suffocate, and then get a 4/4 into 2/2 lifelink, which is not how it turned out. But it was a nice dream. Kind of an awkward time to get a Granite Acolyte, particularly given that what we wanted was a sigil. If our lifelink guy gets removed, then we're in a bit of pain. In a pretty awkward situation. And if we don't draw a sigil. So we're going to lose, presumably, the Acolyte here. Okay, well, I presumed wrong, so they must have something with a good... I guess that's what they didn't want me to destroy, because they didn't see my Suffocate or my Runic Revolver. So, Granite Acolyte, the interaction between Granite Acolyte and Cabal Cutthroat is actually exactly why I decided to play the Granite Acolyte. I am going to remove that, even though, because we don't know if we're going to hit the Runic Revolver next turn, and obviously we want to do the 8-point life swing while we can. 8 life point swing. This is also the mirror match. Sure. Alright, that's a good draw. I mean, it's not like an actively great draw, but I was kind of worried about that moment. Because we have momentum that we really need to protect, and that would be a good way to protect it if I had the second Shadow Sigil. I'm playing 10 Shadow Sigils in a deck of 40, so we should run into one sooner or later, expected within the next 3 turns or so. I have 9 left in my 33 card deck. Okay, my opponent is playing a lot of weapons. So that's interesting, because that's the one that actually does something when it dies. So they must have some removal. A torch, maybe? It's not clear to me. Alright, well, let's see what it is. What could it be? So we're having mild mana problems, but I think our opponent's having some worse problems here, so 1 damage away from killing with Execute. The combination of Execute and Runic Revolver right now is lethal. Okay, so that's pretty okay. That's pretty darn good for us. I think I'm not going to... No, I wouldn't die. I think I'm going to Rapid Shot. Yeah. I don't see why I wouldn't. Because I don't think they do have Torch. Alright. Opponent is looking for an out. If we draw a sigil, we win. Still have lethal on the board. I don't think they have any removal. Oh, they do have removal. Ah, yes, but not enough to do 3 damage. Okay. This is pretty, if our opponent were putting up more of a fight here, our mana problems would actually be a serious issue. I guess, actually, I can play this. That's not very fair of me to say. There are 2 cards stuck in my hand, and we would have had a much more commanding lead if we'd been able to play particularly the Impending Doom when it showed up. But it all worked out anyways. As you can see, I'm in the middle of the Silver League right now, so don't take me too seriously. In Eternal Card Game, you're allowed to edit your deck in between games. Rampage is probably the closest card to the chopping block right now in this deck. I mean, granted, Acolyte is also not extremely convincing. I tried to get some semblance out of a curve out of this, but I just have a lot of cards that I really don't want to cut at the 4+ mana cost level. Namely, Impending Doom, great. Rebel Illuminator, good. Soul Collector is very good. Stonescar Magus, and so on. So I tried to compensate that by putting in a few 2 and 3 cost cards that I'm not so sure of, but I don't think that we want to change anything right now. Tempted to put in Direfang Spider or Dark Wisp or something, but I just don't think that's necessary right now. Anyways, I'm not going to, as you can see, I'm also only playing 1 Runic Revolver. I'm not going to burden you between every game with my exhaustive attention to deck building. I can't say that was a one-time thing necessarily. If we run into real trouble, I will continue trying to tweak my deck in between games, but for now I'm satisfied that the mana problems weren't a result of the deck building, they were just variants. You know, I mean, this is the sort of a hand where, like, we have a 1-drop. It's good if we almost never draw another Sigil. I think this is on the borderline, like very, very borderline end of things I'm going to keep, but I will. I'm very risk averse. I like mulliganing, but at the same time I really don't like mulliganing. I hate mulliganing into a terrible hand. So, yes, that's exactly what we wanted to not draw. That was kind of the card we needed to not draw with this hand. But, you know, our conditional probability of drawing a Sigil decreases with every Sigil we draw. So it's pretty low now. Oh boy. Yeah, and this also takes 3rd and 4th turn to really play. So what does this do? Oh, that's something else. Wow. All right. Let's not let them get to the 4th turn with that card. I mean the 8th turn. The 8th mana is what I actually mean. Let's pop our ability. Let's do attack and quick draw, yeah. And go in with both. So. My cat is walking in between me and my microphone. So if I get muffled, that's why. Your units have endurance. It's not helpful yet. You need to play a unit that I'm afraid of you blocking with for that to be relevant. Are they stuck on 3 mana? Am I interpreting that right? Silence and stun. Alright, so it no longer has quick draw. I always want to call it quick strike, because first strike, probably. But it's different. It's different from first strike. Warband Chieftain is very good when you have a card that has flying and your opponent doesn't. And they're kind of relying on a 3/4 to do all of their heavy lifting. They really look like they're stuck on 3 sigils, don't they? That sucks for my opponent. This guy gets unstunned my next turn. Yeah, this isn't like a permafrost or whatever. What's it gonna be? Give a unit killer, which kills my 6/1. Okay. Yep, okay. If they played like another 1/1, they could have triple blocked the Warband Chieftain, which looks like it's not going to do a ton of good for my opponent. Yeah, it sucks for them that they were stuck on so little mana. Just barf out our hand. Oh, you know what? That was actually a very bad mistake. It's not a very bad mistake. It's something that you shouldn't do because there is, at this mana, kill all units. So we're just kind of really hoping that they don't have that, or else I'll cry very hard. So I made a mistake, but it didn't lose me the game. Kill all units is, I believe, a rare, so it's not something you have to be hyper aware of, but like in that situation, I really didn't need to barf out my hand like that. I could have kept the 5/5 flyer back and still been winning healthily, so just something to keep in mind, and I'll admit that I made a mistake. Pretty sure it's at that mana. 4, I think, including 2 green. Kill all units. What's a spell? Yeah, that's terrible. That's a terrible, terrible hand. Snap Mulligan. That's another terrible hand that we don't have the luxury of mulliganing. It just got marginally better. So in 3 turns, we can deal with their the single awesome ramp card in a Eternal card game, except now we're almost certainly going to be hitting Amber Acolyte with that guy. Amethyst Acolyte. Acolyte versus Acolyte. Okay, well that's exactly what we needed to draw to still be in this, to be competitive in this game. That's painful. Runic Revolver will take care of it in 1 million turns. So, by the way, much of why I'm playing Rampage is because it interacts well with Lethrai Ranger. So we're going to want to give this guy -1, -1. I did that in the wrong order, but it's not going to be relevant. No one has any mana. But yeah, no reason to play that card before attacking. There's nothing in Eternal card games so far, I believe, that unexhausts a unit. There might be like some legendary that I'm not aware of, but so there's no point in killing an exhausted unit before attacking. If it were unexhausted, of course I'd want to kill it before attacking. So we can deal with these two in 2 turns if I draw a sigil within the next 2 turns. Or if I draw an Impending Doom. That does a pretty good job. So going with these 2, we're offering to trade there between the 2/1 and the 1/1. And I'm satisfied with that trade. I am the victim of aggro right now, and I want to clear their units, and furthermore, I want to clear the ground for Rebel Illuminator. So they're... yeah, okay, sure. I'm always interested in the decision, like, I see Second Sight and Wisdom of the Elders a lot in draft. I kind of feel like, oh, this is funny, it stays at 1/0, so if you brought it back from the graveyard, it would just die. Yeah, that's painful. I really want a sigil now. Anyways, but like these really ponderous cards, I often wonder how people make the choice to play them. So the question here is, so if I play Runic Revolver, it's going to kill 1, and then the next creature to attack is going to kill it. So the question is kind of, is there a way for me to, like, I could drop Rebel Illuminator this turn, but I'm probably just taking way too much damage that way. Once again, I guess I should have played Runic Revolver afterwards, but I knew I was going to do this no matter what. So now they're getting in for 2 damage each turn, but I also believe that I'm going to be able to force through a comparable amount of damage each turn. So we're not, like, devastated. Ugh. And now that's extremely painful that they had the hatchling. We just need to get a comparable amount of damage on the ground. Like, so that flying only matters if you're at an impasse on the ground, and flying is the way to get damage in over the top. If I'm going aggro on the ground and they're going aggro in the air, it doesn't matter that they have flying, we're all just going aggro. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I don't pop this turn, but I do next turn. Ambush, something with ambush, 2/3 ambush. That's not what I wanted to see at all. That's really bad for me. I believe they... Next turn. Oh, man. Six, 2, 4. Okay, well, let's see what happens. They never removed any of my creatures. This is where having something that lets you sacrifice creatures would be very useful. Because I can sacrifice this guy, get a torch, and burn something. Well, there are lots of ways for this game to go either direction. It's not what we wanted to see at all. Going with everybody. They'll probably block, yeah, the 1/1. So then I have to rampage on that guy, right? Seems true. It's 5 and I gain 5. So we're 1 damage away from losing this game. 2, 4, 6, 7. I assume they have that. Well, the fact that they snap attacked kind of suggests that, well, no combat tricks. They just have a blocker. Alright. It all comes down to what I draw this turn. I guess. These get unstunned. So they have to block this. It dies. I get a torch and I shoot them. Okay. Good game. That's not how I thought that was going to end at all. I guess they had nothing that they could do about the 3/1 that gives me a torch. Because either they kill it and I shoot them, or they let it through and they take 3. Yeah, so they just had to not get down to 3, which they couldn't have foreseen because I did it using Overwhelm. So, yeah, there you have it. I really wish these were best out of 3 games. I mean, it's beta. I have a long wish list. But the fact that there's no sideboarding makes matches a whole lot less fulfilling. I'll keep this. Yeah, I'll keep this. It's not ideal, but I think it's slightly better than my average hand. I can play everything. I have powerful cards. Alright, this was not the deck to get a slow hand against. I'll say that. So we're playing the Obsidian Golem and blocking the 2/1 with it, as things stand right now. Okay. So they're doing the thing that I mistakenly did last time. Playing cards before attacking. But that's not a serious offense, it's just not optimal. Yeah, I want to trade the Obsidian Golem. You know, we have a fighting chance, but that is one way for things to go seriously downhill. Very seriously downhill. That was bad. Ouch. Yeah, this is not good. Oh, I almost did something really, really bad. So I played this in the turn, and we're going to slap this down to block their weapon. Not how you want to use that card, but well, you can remove it if you want, but then you lose your attack, and I'm just going to play a creature next turn, which they seem to have realized, so they probably have a torch, I guess. Okay, Stonescar Magus is what we were waiting for. This is the card that can help us in this jam, particularly given that they just played a Renegade Valkyrie. Okay, things are looking up. We just need to not die instantly, because Execute plus Cabal Cutthroat. It's going to be a very strong turn. I'm just concerned that if they have something like Torch or an even bigger burn spell, for sure that puts him over the top. So we need a little bit of luck. We just need to be left to our own devices for a while. That is not what I call being left to my own devices. At least I'm playing Warband Chieftain. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it is what it is. So, execute, Beetle, and Cutthroat. Or I can slap the armor. I think I want to put the armor on the Cutthroat, which means I'm not blocking with it next turn. So I'm taking 1 every turn. If I put the armor on this guy, he can block anything, but he doesn't give me life doing that. So let's execute this thing. Play the Blood Beetle. And play a Cabal Cutthroat and end the turn. Yeah, the fact that they have a flying card is certainly inconvenient. I guess my flying answers, I have Runic Revolver. I have the 5/5 that deals damage to me. Because it has Aegis. It's the other problem. Sure, it goes through. So we've stopped them on the ground, but at what cost? I guess slap the Obsidian Armor on the 5/5 and go in. They'll certainly just take it, right? And then I can chump the 5. It's not ideal. This kind of seems like the only thing for me to do, though. Because if you're not doing anything, you're losing. Kind of just relying on top decks if we don't do anything like that. Sure, alright, we got rid of an attacker. I feel like they're going to attack this turn with more than just that. They feel differently, I think. It's not clear. It's a very hard decision for my opponent. You need to think a lot. It actually is not an obvious decision. Again, being glib, but I would attack with everything. I don't think there's an obvious reason not to, but see, this is kind of what we needed to not draw. As long as they're going to be blocking me, I might as well get some value. Sure. Like, I'm just getting free creatures here. I suppose I'll play this. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe I should be keeping cards in my hand to make my opponent more cautious. Who knows? I do. It was probably the wrong choice. I probably shouldn't have played that Sigil. That's kind of nice. There we go. There we go. They figured it out. What have they got? A weapon or something? Okay, yeah. 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 No, this is not good news. Attack with everything. Why wouldn't you? Why would you not attack with everything in this situation? Okay. Wow. So we're, what? 3-1. I only have 30 gold. So this is probably my last draft in a while. Unless I can do better than I did last game. My cat is licking herself in the background. I hope that's not audible. I guess I played this the last time. The last time I kept a hand like this, I was playing a hyper aggro deck, and that turned out to be a huge mistake. But it really seems like a hand to keep. It doesn't have a lot of action, but it can accommodate any action that you draw. Oh dear. Okay. I should not have kept a slow hand against the Echo deck. 2 Echo cards in their opening hand, so I get to start with 9 cards. Well, I start with 7. Echo is a very good ability. It's very, very strong. So we still need to draw, like, we started with 4 sigils. We're still hoping to draw sigils, but we're also in a position where sigils are a good draw, and, you know, like actual things that we can play are a good draw. Our opponent has an ambush card, which is why I'm going to attack and leave Overwhelm open to deal with their 2/3 ambush. Aha, okay. Sure, we'll fight that guy. And then I'll play Soul Collector. A Tyriax Hatchling. So we're going to play 2 combat tricks this turn instead of playing, I mean, this is the most obvious combat trick ever. Yep. So they put down the Tyriax Hatchling. Is there a way for me to, I could put Rampage on, no. Rampage is not useful here. I just want to use this. So give it some extra attack and quick draw. It becomes a 2/2. Then I kill that card and it becomes a 3/3. Yeah. We're just, I mean, that was a major outlay of resources for me. But the fact that I have Rampage still in my hand, also Horse Snatcher Bat, which gets blocked by this guy, means that I want to actually spend those resources. So both of these cards, it's going to block the... So do I want to spend a turn doing that? Sure, why not? So those are their 2 Echo cards, by the way. So I know that they still have a Ornamental Daggers in their hand. And it looked like I just took a long time to think about this attack. So, I mean, they're letting me just unload here, so might as well take advantage. I mean, it's awkward that I didn't have the mana to follow up with anything, but at least I'm not stuck there, right? I still, next turn I can play the Warband Chieftain. Hopefully soon I can get down that Horse Snatcher Bat. Now that we've gotten rid of both of their Tyriax Hatchlings. The only card that we know about in their hand is the Ornamental Daggers. Okay, so at last they murder my my guy. It would have been interesting if they blocked Obsidian Golem. That would have been kind of cool to get the free card and take 4 and go low and see what they can do. It means they're a little worried. They're probably a little short on blockers. Oof. If I hadn't played that, I could have Amethyst Acolyted it to make it unable to block Obsidian Golem without dying. Anyways, it's going with this fella, which they're going to have to take. Yep. I assume. This goes down at 8, right? Yep. And then a Horse Snatcher Bat, which is not what my opponent wants to see, I imagine. Maybe. I don't know what's in their hand. Tyriax Hatchling is fine, or whatever, something like that, because Amethyst Acolyte takes care of it. Okay, well, yeah. All right, we are, this is where the rewards actually get real. It's also where I feel like I always stall out, right at the point where I really want to start winning more games. Like the marginal increase of winning a game up until now was like 250 gold, turning a silver chest into a gold chest, plus gold chests have a 1 in 10 chance of getting you 2,000 gold by turning into a diamond chest. Silver chests only have a 1 in 10 chance of getting you 250 extra gold by turning into a gold chest. I suppose the other difference is that like card based, the number of you get a pack out of a gold chest and only some like uncommon or something out of a silver chest, but I don't care about that. What I care about is gold, because what I like to do is draft. I'm going to keep this because we're very close to getting Impending Doom. We just need any other sigil in the next 3 turns. It's not a great hand. I maybe should edit my deck to put in more cards, more low-cost cards. I tried, it's just that the low-cost cards that I'm not playing now that are in my draft pool are just so much worse. Okay, well, we're going to put out Obsidian Golem, I think, because it baits it doesn't bait removal. It's something that they don't want to remove. Like, this is going to be a block that my opponent does not want to make, whereas if it were the Cabal Cutthroat, it would be a block that they do want to make. I could also Suffocate, but I'm all Suffocate does right now is give me put 2 damage on my opponent and save a creature that I'm like don't actually care about protecting very much. Also, wow, Suffocate just got way better. I would like to draw a Sigil though. I did not draw a Sigil in the time when I was hoping to. Well, hard to complain about this, I guess. Yeah, I think I just want to clear the field and put in some beats. Like, it's 1 for 1 and a half from the Ornamental Daggers. 1 for 1 twice, and I also got half a card. I guess I'm supposed to regret. Ouch. Yeah, that's really inconvenient. No, they'll probably block, won't they? Nope. So they have something coming up with 5 or more attack, I guess. Because I would think that... Well, maybe they have a lot of weapons or something. Because I would think that lifelink in this situation is better than flying. For the same reason as last time, where, you know, if we're all just going aggro... Okay, this is getting a little painful. If we're all just going aggro, like, what do we care if you have flying, particularly given that I'm regenerating the health that Friendly Wisp is dealing to me every turn? So they must, like, maybe we'll see a Towering Terrazon this turn or something. Although I wouldn't have attacked if I were going to play Towering Terrazon. Okay. So, like, this is a situation where that's exactly what I needed to draw. And what we're going to do is put the weapon on the 2/2 lifelink to make my opponent make a really bum trade. Yeah, to clear the ground. I could also set that up by playing Soul Collector and whatnot, but I just want to keep getting damage in. Because that's just a very, very weak trade for my opponent, particularly since they're 2 damage away from turning that guy on. And it gets me a bunch of health and stuff. Okay, so I pulled a removal spell out of their hand, at least. You know, double blocking is not terrible here. But I kind of want to Warcry. I have 1,000,000 health and they have combat tricks. Let's just let it go in. I am worried about what happens when they get 8 mana next turn. Oh, just kicked my cat. Whoops. Sorry, cat. I could shoot this thing if I'm seriously afraid of the +5/+5, which I kind of am, actually. That deals 5 damage to me and lets me attack next turn if they're attacking. Ooh, because if I Impending Doomed, no, they wouldn't attack and they would have very strong double block. Let's do that. Let's shoot it. I don't want that thing activating. They can get in kind of for free with the 2/2 now. This is delicate. Well, they have some fat blocker to play, so. Empower, play a 5/5 Sentinel. Ouch. Well, good thing everyone blocks in this situation. Aha, they didn't. 2/4. Well, that makes things very interesting. That really does make things very interesting, because now I just need to find any way to sneak through damage. That's fine. One problem is the way priority works in this game, they can tell if you have the ability to respond. Super hands. This is a Peep Show reference. Come on, attack me. Let me sneak through damage. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, 5. Okay, so they have 5 damage guaranteed. I have to just go in with everything and play some blockers, probably. This is getting blocked by this. This is getting blocked by this. Yeah, let's take that out and make sure they don't get a 5/5 Sentinel. Would have been nice to deal that damage to them, but that was a generous offer. Because we were, I should have explicitly mentioned, we were 1 damage away from killing them by putting it on the Obsidian Golem. But 1 damage away, still. We're happy if they attack here, I think. Yeah. Overwhelm, Torch. Not that. Going with everything again, I suppose. Is that true? Because I have 2 blockers. That's 1 thing on the ground. I might just lose here. 5, 7. Looks like I do just lose here, doesn't it? That's certainly too bad. Here and here. No, because they, yep, they're 1 damage short. Right. Do they have to do that? And let that thing die? I kind of thought that they weren't going to do that. Alright, so let's see if they have the damage that they need. It's entirely in their hands. I would have been nice if I draw on a Sigil to play Horse Snatcher Bath, but so they're fishing for the damage. They also might not be able to kill me this turn, but also be able to prevent themselves from dying next turn. If they have 2 of those, yeah, so they don't die this turn. What happens if I attack with everything? They have to block everything. So they would block the 2/3 with this thing, with the 2/2 with the 2/3. Yeah, they're going to lose a lot. They could kill my 3/3, but then it can... Yeah, they don't really have good blocks, do they? And it's not like I'm gonna it's not like I'm gonna be able to block their stuff, right? So their 3/4 probably survives. Yep. 2. Yeah. They can't keep enough attackers to necessarily kill me next turn. Okay. So that, yeah, so we pop their Aegis, sure. So that certainly seems like it was pretty darn good for me. I would like this thing to die. I guess I should have got stuff that lets you sacrifice units. I didn't really consider how many, or I didn't realize how many situations there would be in which I would, like, actively want one of my Entomb creatures to die. Yeah, that's a good game. I assume this means I've won. Let's slap this on this thing just for optimal play. Oh, Runic Revolver was optimal play. What am I thinking? Whatever. Well, that's the game I wanted to win, so. Alright, let's go for the diamond. One more win. No, you have to win every draft game to pay for your draft, don't you? Because I'm going to get just about if I win this game, I'm going to get just about 4,000 gold, 4,500 gold out of it, which wouldn't even let me redraft immediately, which is kind of a shame. Queuing is obviously not the smoothest thing in the beta of Eternal Card Game, but again, it's a beta. Also, I think asynchronous drafting is a super good idea. This is a very sketchy hand that I'm going to keep anyways. Maybe I'll lose. Maybe I'll lose because of that. We don't know. I probably shouldn't have kept that. 2 mana is very, very borderline. If I could go back in time, I would mulligan that hand. That was a decision that I do not endorse. At least I have this like mega aggro hand going on here. If I draw 2 sigils, then this was perfect. If I draw 0 sigils, well, then it's an alternate reality. Because I drew a sigil. I got rewarded for my bad decision, so always good. Always good to get rewarded for bad decisions. Ooh. Oh, man. Okay. This is an example of me being extremely lucky. That's not generally true. I'm usually not extremely lucky. But in this game, I was. Sure, you do that. I mean, that was ridiculous. That was an offensively good series of draws, I think. Yeah, I got really lucky this game. Not going to go in with the 2-1. Although if I did, I could trade the 2-1 and the execute for that guy. But that's not how you play games well. Sure. I don't love that, but sure. Let's execute the blocker. Make space for our 2-1. Maybe I'll regret that when they play some like giant behemoth awesome amazing card. But I don't know. I believe in getting aggro in while you have the opportunity. If I can get them down, yeah, especially when they're playing cards like Dispel, which is not exactly a speedy defensive card. Oh god, that's awesome. The Flame Blast means that if I can succeed in getting them down to a pretty low health, then Flame Blast can get me over the top. So like already, whoops, that has ambush. What am I thinking? Already when, you know, like 2 more, if I get 2 more attacks over the top, oh, that's not going to happen. Thankfully, Cabal Cantus is a super good answer to 4th Tree Elder. Super good. Like, kind of offensively good. So now I'm really hoping to draw a Fire Sigil. Because if they don't gain life, Fire Sigil is lethal because of Flame Blast. Having said that, I'm playing something like 6 or 7 more Fire Sigils in this deck. So the probability that I draw one anytime soon is 100%. Good game. Okay, that was a demonstration of what it looks like to have... Whoops. Okay, well, they played well. They just said it too late for me to reciprocate. That was a demonstration of what it looks like to have perfect luck. Here we go. Snap, redraw. I would say we're going for the gold, but we're going to get rid of the last gold chest. That is a, it's like the tiniest change to the hand probably makes all the difference because being able to play Cabal Cutthroat with a Shogun Scepter on it is pretty sweet. So, must play Fire Sigil next turn, not Shadow Sigil. Or it doesn't matter at all. This is kind of awkward, because you do not love playing Stonescar Magus onto an empty board. I'm probably willing to do it. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Ooh, okay. Yes, I am. I will do it to not have to take infinite beats from that thing. Will I? That's so awkward. So 1-for-1. And Warband Chieftain can get kind of murdered by that stuff. Oh, man. That seems just so weak. It puts me really behind against this hyper aggro deck, though, if I don't do it. I'm going to do it. That sucks a lot. Very awkward situation to be in. I just don't want to get ludicrously behind because I took like 9 unnecessary damage from this Sword of Icaria. What is that? Endurance and charge. Okay. Yeah, I'll disable that creature, sure. And take the 3. It's like I just kind of goes away. I kind of did bluff that I have no... Oh, it has a Warcry? Wow. Yeah, that's really bad for me. I did kind of bluff that I had no creatures in hand, right? This is very awkward. I needed to have... Because, like, Stonescar Magus, Warband Chieftain, and Granite Acolyte all want there to be other creatures in play. So this game was a really bad situation for them. If I can slap down Shogun Scepter next turn, then I can play Granite Acolyte and it can be not bad. Like, and Granite Acolyte and Warband Chieftain will both be actually doing stuff. Crownwash Longsword on that thing. I'm not going to block. Because then they can just murder it with the Sword of Icaria. And as I just mentioned, I really want to not waste its Entomb ability. Right now, they can't attack with Sword of Icaria unless they have Torch or something that they didn't have. So the first thing that we're going to do is Shogun Scepter. And then since they didn't have removal, I feel like just Granite Acolyting the Warband Chieftain is not a terrible idea. Actually, it might be. I would not do it if I had another Sigil or knew that I would draw one next turn, because it's really good on Impending Doom, obviously. But I really want creatures. I really want creatures. And I don't know what removal spell that they could plausibly have that screws me up here. And if they really want to remove it, fine. I'm just going to buff one of my other guys. So now we're in a much better position than we were in last turn. I mean, we're not comfortable. We haven't really stabilized, but it's much, much better. So they, of course, attack. We, of course, do not block. We're going to go in with everything, lose 1 card. Oh, maybe we're not. I would have gone in with everything, lost 1 card, and Rapid Shot. I really want to play Horse Snatcher Bat, but it's actually only 1 more damage per turn than Impending Doom. So I think we are going to go in with everything, lose 1 card, Warcry 2 things, and kill their 4/5. Because this is just barely a plausible aggressive attack if I don't have a combat trick. Just barely. So they popped that pretty early. What are they putting it on this guy? What is it targeting? How do I tell what it's targeting? I have to assume that it's targeting the 4/5. It would make no sense otherwise. So yeah. I wanted to make sure so that I didn't make some stupid misplay, but it doesn't look like there's that functionality. So there's something. There's another thing that I would like to see change after the beta. Be able to tell what spells are targeting by mousing over them. There might also be a way, and I just didn't see it. Alright, so it's probably going to be a chump blocker. That's my guess. Certainly not attacking with this thing. If they attack, I will block. And they didn't attack, so doesn't matter. Going with these 2. In the future, this will be useful to attack with later on when I want to force them to block this guy, but they did it really early, so this is a situation where I'm not going to play this, because I am worried that they might be able to destroy all creatures. It's not like they're going to play like a flying card and a huge blocker this turn, right? Okay, well, all right. So that was the draft. Get to claim my rewards. So we had one loss, so it was not perfect, but very good otherwise. Right, it's 3 diamond chests. So that means I have enough gold for another draft. All right, I'm gonna do these drafts. So I'm a grad student. There is no such thing as regular in my life, so I can't say that I'm gonna do it with any regularity. But whenever I have time to set aside, I don't know how long this took, probably on the order of an hour and a half, maybe an hour and a half. When I have that much time, I will put up a draft, and I think pretty much, every few times I draft, I'll record. But whether that's going to be every week, every other week, I'm not sure. When the semester really picks up, probably much less often than that. So, but having said that, thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you'll tune in the next time I do this.